Hey guys, welcome back to another TEKDEP repair video. In today's episode, we're going to be replacing the battery as well as the charging ports on our MacBook Air here. This is going to be an M1 model A2337 2020. We're going to walk you through how to do everything in today's video, some tips and tricks, and then also all the parts and of course tools we use. We'll have those available linked in the description below or available at TEKDEP.com. But let's go ahead and get into today's repair. So to begin the repair, we're going to go ahead and flip the unit over. I've already removed our bottom case that the client had on there, but typically most people don't use cases, but if you have one, pop that one off. And then we're going to remove all 10 of the pentalobe screws on the bottom, 4 at the top, 4 at the bottom, and 1 on each side. The ones at the top are going to be the longest. Ones on the side are going to be different than the ones at the bottom, which are going to be, I believe, slightly shorter off the top of my head. And with our bottom case screws removed, I'm going to use the help of a suction cup to remove the bottom case just by pulling up. And we're inside the unit. All right, so the first thing we're going to do, and the first thing you should do anytime you work on any MacBook, is disconnect the battery. To do so on this M1 Air, we're going to go ahead and unclip this metal bar, which is held in by a retention clip on the actual logic board side of this connector here. Can be pretty difficult to get it up and over. I recommend a spudger. Once we get that retention bar up, as you can see, the battery will come unplugged. Now our unit is safe to work on, and since we're going to be replacing both the battery and the charging port here, I'm going to work top down. I'm going to start with our charging port replacement here. In order to do this, we're going to first use a T3 screwdriver and remove the 2 screws and retention bracket that keep the side of the charging port that plugs into the logic board secured to it. We're going to then unplug it. Now we're going to switch to a T5 and remove the 2 screws that hold the port side of the charging port into the top case. And if you're lucky, you'll be able to get it out. What it looks like. There we go. All right, so that is our old charging port removed. As you can see, hopefully here on camera, there is some corrosion on both sides of this, not super severe, and the pads are pretty worn, so that could be why our unit was charging on and off, kind of hit or miss. Definitely looks like it was time for either a cleaning or in this case, replacement. Okay, so we have our brand new charging port here, and again, these are going to be available at TEKDEP.com or linked in the description below. That we're going to pull out and install here. This can be a tricky install without taking the logic board out, but once you angle it right, it'll just slot right in just like that. And then we're going to secure it down with the 2 T5s on either side. And connect our cable here. Take the retention plate and the 2 T3 screws and secure these down. So that's our charging port replaced. All we have to do is replace the battery now. First thing we're going to do is keep that same T3 screwdriver and remove this retention plate right here for the Trackpad flex cable. We're going to grab we're going to keep the T3 again, sorry about that, and remove the black screw on either side that holds the speakers as well as our battery plate here into the top case. So we first have to remove the speakers before we can go ahead and remove the battery tray. There's going to be 2 pull tabs at the bottom of each speaker. And if you're unlucky like me, they're going to snap and that speaker is going to be pretty hard to remove. Let's try on this side here. The best way to remove these is pulling flat straight towards yourself, but as you can see for me, these just decided they wanted to snap, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult to get these out. So to get them out now, we're going to use isopropyl alcohol. We're just going to go around them here to help weaken that very, very strong adhesive as much as we can. We're going to let that sit for a few minutes. While that's sitting, we're going to go back to our T3 screwdriver and remove this retention plate on the left side here. And now we're going to go ahead and unplug our speakers. So the left one right here and the right one right here. And now we're going to attempt to pry these out. This will take a lot of persuasion on our end to get these things loose. All right, so we broke the speakers loose here, quite literally. This one we're going to replace for the customer because it did snap. It still is operational. It did only snap in the plastic section. As you can see here, these speakers are pretty much nothing other than right here. But we're going to replace this complimentary for the customer. Hopefully this doesn't happen to you, but you can see where the adhesive strip lies just on this section here. It's very strong, and trying to pry right here resulted in it just cracking. I do recommend, if your adhesive snaps coming in from the top side, as I did on this one, it came off cleanly and this one's good to go back in, but we'll replace the other one for the customer later on. But now we're going to go ahead and grab our T3 screwdriver again and unscrew the 2 screws on either side that hold this battery sled in. And we have more pull tabs here. We got 3 on each side, so hopefully these play a lot nicer for us, which it seems like they are. Nice. Yeah, so that's how the pull tabs for the speakers should have went, and they did not. To take these off, the easiest way I found is to grab them with tweezers. Get about 5 or 6 rolls once you snag them, just to get a good pull, and then pulling that way. But as you can see with that center tab, of course, we're not super lucky. Let's try again on this one here. So we're rolling to get a good grip, and now we're gonna pull slowly straight across. This one's good, just the center one decided didn't want to work with us. Let's try on this side again. All right, so bar the one that snapped here for us, which I'll show you later when we get the battery off, but there is 2 channels in here, which are kind of useful in prying the battery up when the adhesive does not come off. Just like so. Now we're going to do this channel. There we go. Okay. So that side's now free. We're going to go ahead and unplug the Trackpad flex cable. Peel it off of our battery. And remove our old battery sled here. So as you can see, that one adhesive strip got to there. Said I'm not doing this anymore. But these channels here are the ones I used to get in there and then pry up to get this loose. So at least Apple thought ahead when they designed this, that these will suck, you know, in 2030, 2031 onward. After a few years, when these are super stuck on there and don't want to let go, you have an option to pry them off. All right, so we've got our brand new battery here. Once again, if you guys are looking for these speakers, the charging port, or this battery, we're going to have them linked in the description below or available at TEKDEP.com. If you guys are interested in a similar Maill-in repair or any sort of data recovery work, check us out. We'll have it linked in the description below or again at TEKDEP.com. But we do it all every day, so we've got you covered. All right, so we're just going to line up our battery and slot it down in. And now we're going to take our T3 screws, just the bottom 2, and secure these to the top case. Right. Now we're going to go ahead and reinstall our speakers. Okay, so we've got our speakers here ready for installation. We're going to start with the left-hand side one here. I'm going to plug it in just to make sure it's lined up. And then I'm going to take the 2 T3 screws and secure these down. And now we're ready to plug in our trackpad flex cable. Take our retention bracket and the 2 T3s that secure our trackpad flex cable and fasten these back down. We're going to repeat that same process on the top left over here. This bracket covers our Touch ID, our audio board connection, and our left-hand speaker. All right, now we can go ahead and plug in our battery. After we get our battery reconnected and plugged in, we're going to go ahead and grab a charger. Plug the unit in and make sure it charges and turns on correctly before we put the bottom case on. All right, turns on. Let's just go ahead and make sure it's charging and holding the charge once we boot into the operating system here. All right, so on the top left here, let's just make sure it detects a charge, just like that, and like that. All right. Perfect. So our charging ports are good to go, as well as our battery. So we're going to go ahead and wrap this up by putting the bottom case back on. Remember, the 4 longest ones are at the top. The 2 with the longest threads are going to go in the center, and the ones with the short threads go on the outside. But yeah, this is going to wrap up today's video. Thank you guys for watching. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and we'll be sure to get back to you. If you guys saw any parts or tools you needed in today's video, we'll have them linked in the description below, or of course available at our website, TEKDEP.com. If you're interested in a similar Maill-in repair, we also offer Maill-in repair services and data recovery service. We'll have that linked below as well. Or again, always check us out at TEKDEP.com. We do it all every day. We've got you covered, and we hope to see you guys in the next episode. Thank you for watching.